agenda today will cover the HP Converged Cloud, mastering the cloud from planning to delivery. So quite broad topic. In addition to this, we have my colleague Ari Saareks, who's going to talk about HP Cloud Solutions, and we also have a booth in the main lobby area where you can try the look and feel of our solutions. I'd first like to start by going through some of the generic challenges that the customers are facing. They are applicable to both business and IT, so the innovation is speeding up and IT has to comply with that, offer flexibility to business. Agility, businesses are moving faster and time to market is key. Improving financial management, of course there's cost pressures, especially during this economic era, there's cost pressure to cut IT spending. At the same time, we see megatrends in the industry. So you may have heard of this bring your own device, consumerization. There's a lot of consumers that feel that at home they are able to use better IT products and services than they can at work, and they bring these devices to work. So we see a forming of a prosumer. We also see that due to the mobile workplace, the consumerization is really everywhere, and the world is connected. Companies are rapidly expanding to the connectivity to the emerging markets to grasp opportunities, deploy IT to new companies that have been bought, M&A. Cloud computing is a new trend, or has been in the industry for a few years now, promising automation of IT, operational efficiency savings. Mobility is growing, information is exploding with big data analytics. We see instant communication and collaboration tools being used, convergence of data and voice networks in teleoperator space, as well as end users using applications such as Microsoft Link. Social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Evo, etc. Companies are using the social media to connect rather than just email. And the technology pace of change is accelerating. Surprise, surprise. So in the industry, every 10 years there's been mega trends. So first there was the mainframe centralized computing architectures. IBM took a lot of market share in the financial service industry, for example, same as HP. Client server, clone PCs came, cannibalized the PC business. The internet, 95 sunset, the network is the computer. The client server was connected through the internet networks, HTML, .com boom. Then became mobile, so big data and the cloud. And the IT services are increasing. So throughout every technology shift, there has been new business models, and companies have taken advantage of those business models. You can see that these new business models, some examples are here, that every 60 seconds there's 98,000 tweets, 23,000 apps downloaded, 208,000 minutes of Angry Birds played. There's a lot of transactions ongoing. This opens up new business models for customers. For example, for banks, how to best serve the customers through these new channels, through multi-channel. And we see a change in how technology is consumed. The key trend is that IT is moving to more service-based. Everything as a service. Infrastructure, applications, information. When you need it, where you need it. So this is a prevalent trend both in private and public sector organizations. Jack Welch said that you have to change before you have to. Who remembers Kodak? Hands up. Do you remember what Kodak invented? Film. And digital photography. Why did Kodak fail to exist today? They didn't take advantage of that new business model of digital photography. And you can see that Canon and Nikon are playing in the space heavily now. So, change before you have to is the message. And today, I'm positioning HP as an innovation and change agent to our customers and partners. And I'm going to talk about how focusing on cloud, we can bring that innovation. So cloud in Gartner Hype Cycle now, you probably are all familiar with the Gartner Hype Cycle, but what we see here is in the plateau of productivity or approaching that is Salesforce automation. So HP decided to change Siebel to Salesforce automation. I don't know how well that's going to go, but we are taking advantage of CRM as a SaaS in our organization. Virtualization is also approaching the plateau of productivity, so virtualizing physical servers to reduce asset cost. Same as infrastructure service. But then we have other, this is Gartner August 2012 data. But we're seeing that cloud computing in general and private cloud computing, platform as a service, hybrid cloud computing, cloud bursting, these are technologies that are kind of still pretty hyped up. And today I'm going to try to talk through what you should consider when you are thinking about these aspects. And what you can take advantage of now, today, and prepare for the future. I don't know how many people have heard about HP in the cloud space. Hands up. You are probably in the same position as I was when I first started to work with cloud in HP 3 years ago. That we are not really seen as a cloud player, but that's because we provide infrastructure to the main cloud providers. So, for example, AT&T, Verizon, Telemark, Rackspace, Savis, big teleoperators, CSPs, they use HP infrastructure to power their cloud. So our platforms are used there. So these are Gartner Magic Quadrants, leadership positions. In the data center outsourcing and infrastructure utility services in Europe, Middle East, Africa region, HP is seen as a visionary player with ability to execute, to build the cloud. Why we're not in the public cloud space, this is 2011 data, December, is because HP recently announced our public cloud services and they were not ready in the functionality we wanted when this study came out. But we have high SLA public cloud available as well now. So what is cloud? I think it's probably quite well known to everybody that originally the name originates from the internet topology diagrams. When network engineers built diagrams, they didn't know what to put for internet, so they built a cloud. So it's ambivalent as the internet. So it's same as saying internet is all about the service, so IT is all about the service. However, what is really different about this is that with the services-based IT strategy, you have a service provider which can be the customer's IT organization or the service provider. And there's a service consumer who is normally the business line user or end user of the service. But the fundamental logic is that the user does not want to, they want to use the service but not own the assets. So they want to pay per use for what they use when they use it. And they want to have a good user experience doing that. The service provider owns the assets that they use to provide the service. That includes hardware, software, people, workflows. And for them, the ROI matters because they have to be able to provide the service cost effectively and in an automated way and have a scalable service. So what is the problem we're solving with the cloud? IT in the past has grown heterogeneously. So there are multi-vendor install bases in the customer environments. There are proprietary solutions, legacy applications, legacy hardware, hardware integrations, complex system integration, all in total like a big spaghetti. This is the starting point in many organizations with IT. People are fighting fires to just try to keep the services up and running, to make sure that they don't get a lot of heat from their CIO or the business, and the business critical applications stay up. At the same time, the business demand is fluctuating. So the company is facing delays in time to market, missing deadlines, losing revenue. Let's say you are a startup company, you are launching your services through the internet. That is your business. And if you don't get enough service to the market, you lose revenue. If you're an end customer, let's say you're a media company and you launch a new service, a digital newspaper, for example. If it's oversubscribed, your IT doesn't support it, you lose revenue because your subscribers can't buy the service. At the same time, from the IT function or service provider perspective, you have over-provisioned resources. Multiple times I've seen that the customers, let's say, servers run idle most of the time. The CPU loads are not very high. So they have physical servers only, not even virtual servers, running workloads half time or not even 10% of the time. Your applications, you could have multiple applications that are dedicated on proprietary hardware. So there's cost reduction opportunity in this fluctuating demand. So what we try to do is we try to improve the capacity utilization of IT by leveling the peaks and the troughs with actual need or demand of service. Cloud is changing the delivery models in a way that there will be multiple ways to source IT. There's traditional IT, which is the, today's worst case scenario, a spaghetti. And the resources are dedicated for certain services only. There's managed cloud, which means that someone else is hosting your IT services. A service provider, a hoster, co-location vendor. Private cloud. This is a cloud that is a shared cloud or a shared service platform for your organization. But it's not very flexible, but it has high SLA. And there's public cloud, which is cheap, but you don't get very good SLAs. So you can't run mission-critical applications on the public cloud. So what is the CIO thinking, or the CEO of a service provider? They know they need to do something about these trends. They need to do something about the capacity utilization problem. They need to do something about how to exploit the different IT delivery sourcing models. So they are moving to a more service-centric model. And they need to work much more closely with the business. So this becomes now a problem of managing the business rather than managing the technology. Cloud is not about technology. It's about business management in terms of the financial management of the IT resources, the organizational management of the people, process, and technology, as well as technology management of the actual architecture and the systems underlying that in terms of applications or hardware. If the CIO doesn't do anything about this, the public cloud, where you can go to Amazon EC2, use your credit card, and outside the procurement department, buy as much service as you like, and your credit card bill ramps up, it becomes the next shadow IT, which means that there is a lot of cost that is going out from the company, cash flow, that they can't control. So you need to be able to, as an IT manager, be able to build process and controls. How do you control the IT spend? To enable the end user to buy from public, private, managed, and traditional IT, you need to be able to charge back from your IT services. So what is needed is a hybrid delivery model. The CIO or the service provider becomes the broker of services. Those services can be built in-house with private cloud, or they can be consumed from external service providers. But there has to be a mechanism for managing the hybrid delivery. Also, the security issue is an aspect that has to be taken care of because it impacts the IT risk management. So how do you ensure that you, in a secure way, source the services? Does anyone have any questions at this point? Okay, maybe I'm not making any sense, so this is too obvious for everyone. Okay, so hybrid deliveries is what we in HP try to enable to our customers. So we start often, like if you are building a house. If you have an old house, you have to build a plan how do you renovate the house before you go to the hardware shop and start buying nuts and bolts and start building. So often the IT departments have got a lot of this traditional IT, which is homogeneous and flexible in nature, often very physical. Then there's a future mode, which is based on the hybrid cloud. But something has to happen for us to go there, so we need to be able to go through a transformation in IT. And what we are looking at is how do we build common architectures that support the future mode of operation by integrating the heterogeneous architectures and support open standards to be able to help the integration issues. How do we work through OpenStack APIs, for instance, or Amazon APIs to connect the different clouds together. Also, we need to be able to move workloads between the clouds. So HP hybrid delivery is based on 3 premises: choice, confidence, and consistency. So we provide a non-vendor lock-in, industry standard open architecture that allows you to integrate any application, any infrastructure, any hypervisor, almost any partner to your cloud delivery model. We provide it securely. We have a lot of companies we bought ArcSight, Fortify, Tipping Point. We can secure the service end to end. We have management systems, HP Information Management, and HP operations orchestration, cloud service automation that we use to manage the system. So we provide a single pane or portal view to the system admin as well as the end consumers to manage the underlying cloud architecture. We provide portability so we can move the workloads flexibly and optimize the workloads. For example, we can do assessments on the applications, which ones are suited for cloud, which are best kept in the traditional IT. And we provide simple user experience with different views. Simplified user experience for the end consumer and more complex user experience for the system administration. So this picture shows, and we can go through this in more detail if you want, but you should go look at, if you can, go look at the slides that Ari is presenting. He's going to go into the financials of each of the different cloud models in terms of what are the real cost savings in the business case for the different transition paths towards different clouds. But essentially, you have the infrastructure as a service, management and security as a service, and converged information service. And HP provides support across the cloud platforms for server storage networks, for monitoring security automation applications, and structured to unstructured data. So the information can be in databases in a structured format, or it can be in a non-structured way, for example in social media. So the HP Converged Cloud portfolio consists of building, managing, and securing your cloud, or providing a consume option, or providing professional services. So if you want to build a cloud, we have systems and software and support services, enablement services, consulting services to build a cloud. If you want to buy a consume cloud, we have outsourcing services and cloud services that you can leverage to buy cloud services. Or if you are unsure what you should be doing, we have consulting services to help you run workshops for cloud and do a consulting engagement on what's the business case, what's the architecture design, what's the implementation going to look like, and how do we test it. And we can also educate the customer. Different customers come to this cloud journey from many different crossroads. Some companies start with the traditional IT, which means that they are just looking at standardizing, consolidating, virtualizing, or automating their current IT. How many of you have heard of server virtualization? How many are using server virtualization? How many think virtualization is cloud? You think so?
Well, it's your private cloud if you have your virtual servers.
Yeah. Virtualization is a step towards the cloud, but it's not cloud. Cloud is about automation of the infrastructure provisioning and services provisioning. So it's about how do you automate the templates you use to install applications on infrastructure? How do you automate workflows? So it's essentially about reducing the manual efforts required to install applications and workflows on your infrastructure. So it's about industrialization of IT. So when we add those automation layers or the virtualization, we move towards the cloud. So what are the kind of use cases for cloud. I don't know if any one of you have developed applications on Amazon. Or have you used the cloud? Who has used the cloud? Okay. What have you used the cloud for? Sorry?
For testing.
Testing software development. Yeah. Who did you use?
Citrix.
Sorry?
Citrix.
Okay. What cloud was it running on? You don't know, because you used a service. You used a virtualized service.
Yes.
So the workload was running on a cloud, on a backend data center somewhere in the internet, and you just saw that you were able to develop the application on that cloud. Did you move the application to production?
No.
Okay. Do you have any plans to do so?
Yes.
And how do you think there will be problems moving the?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have to know, will your software run that you developed in the cloud, will it run in your production environment? So that's an example of how do you move a workflow from public cloud to your own production cloud environment. So you've basically been doing this. You've been developing an application over Citrix in a public cloud, and if it goes into proper management of the IT function management of the service, it should be moved to an environment where they can provide the production critical SLA for that service. Then this is an example of that kind of an aspect. So this picture shows that HP has got a good journey towards the cloud. So through the standardization and consolidation, if you have dual vendor strategy or multi-vendor strategy, you can standardize the building blocks for your architecture. Then you virtualize and automate the assets, and you start to build self-service software portals for the infrastructure, so you can start orchestrating the services. When you move towards full automation, you can do the full lifecycle management, so you can move the software from the public clouds to private clouds. And then finally you reach the step of a hybrid delivery. You can get started with virtualization by using a virtual system, or you can use a cloud system matrix or cloud system enterprise to build a more automated system or service provider version. And we can support you with the consulting services to plan, design, implement the cloud. So what is needed when you start planning the cloud? You may first want to look at the strategy, the roadmap, design, implementation, integration, operation, continue to support the service. So we can help you plan, build, manage and secure the cloud. And we have technical support services, anything from break and fix to mission critical support services to support the environment. How many have got a plan for cloud computing, or do you have a cloud strategy in place in your organization? Hands up if you have a plan for how to use cloud services. One person. So the harnessing the cloud is about looking at what are the business aspects you want to achieve, and can cloud help you do that? Basically, it allows a technology shift that allows you to grasp these new business models, but it requires quite a lot of planning. Because like in the previously mentioned case, if you just go for public cloud and start developing a software, for example, there, you need to be able to have a plan for how to move that service across to production. Or if you start with your traditional IT and one day somebody tells you that you should use public cloud services to reduce cost, it helps if you have a plan in place what public cloud services, when and how are we going to start using them. So HP can provide practical experience doing this. Predictable execution, so we have standardized services and products to build this journey for our customers. And we use best industry benchmark references for the deployments. So we use methodologies that allow us to build the industry best-in-class cloud. So, how many of you are familiar with concepts of ITIL or IT service management? Okay. This is a diagram that could be from an ITIL guide. You know, it's trying to perceive that if the CIO is here and they are looking at how to deploy IT services, you know, there's a governance and project management office, there's service catalogs, there's applications, there's virtualization, operating systems, infrastructure, server storage networks, a lot of different kinds of things that you should be considering when you deliver the service. Some customers have outsourced IT, so the service provider is doing all of this for them. But for service providers, this is what they do every day. And for larger enterprises, the IT function often still does all of this. But there needs to be visibility across all of the different parts, from service portfolio and catalog, from sourcing to government policies, service management, metering and reporting, change management and training, security and governance, and implementation and integration. For the CIO to be able to provide an end-to-end SLA for the service chain and guarantee the required SLA for that service. Let's say if it's a 5.9 SLA with very low downtime, these processes have to work quite seamlessly, but of course it's expensive, so you don't want to do it for all of your services. So you have certain services that are mission critical, certain services that are standard, normal, and some are best effort. So you provide a lower SLA. But HP can help you map the services, map the SLAs, build an automated platform that allows you to provide the SLA required. Here are some examples of the solutions we offer. So we have productized the different versions of the solutions. So these are hardware solutions with software, but they are here today. They are not, vaporware. We can build these clouds. So we are building these clouds every day. So if you want to have a look, you can see a demo in our demo booth. My colleague Timo Tähtinen is hosting that demo. So what references does HP have? 8 out of 10 of the world's most trafficked websites, they run HP infrastructure behind. 4 out of 5 world's largest search engines run HP infrastructure behind. 3 most popular social media properties in the US run HP. 4 of 5 leading host providers run HP. We have powered 575 private and public clouds with HP Cloud System. So we have been doing this for a long time. And we have 180 managed cloud customers, so we manage clouds for them. In Finland, for example, for a NEP, network equipment provider, we host their SAP environment from their cloud. We have launched the cloud services to support you to do this transformation and transition to cloud services. And this is one of our key strengths. We have technology called Cloud Maps. What it is with the partners to the ISV ecosystem, Citrix, VMware, Microsoft, Oracle, Red Hat, you name it. It's hundreds of software ISVs. We have developed templates for installation of their applications in an automated way to run on our infrastructure, which supports multi-vendor infrastructure. So this saves a lot of time from the IT department when they don't manually have to open up for every time they provision a Microsoft Exchange server, they don't have to open up the Sun networks for storage share networks. They don't have to provision the virtual servers, run the VMware ESX hosts, set up the network security policies, etc. So once we write the configuration template once, it can be run for a second Microsoft Exchange server again. So that is automation. So we automate the installation administration workflow using these templates. These templates can be quite complex, as you probably know if you have been working with the ISVs. But they are available on our website, so you don't have to pay money for those. But if you have to do a really custom made, then they have to be tailored, and there's some work associated with the statement of work with that. We manage world's largest private cloud, so you may have heard of the acquisition of Autonomy. Autonomy is a company that is a massive unstructured database. So in Finland, for example, TeliaSonera has developed a solution with Helsingin Sanomat main newspaper on augmented reality. So you put your smartphone on top of the newspaper, and it automatically detects the symbol on the piece of paper, and it links to a mobile advertisement or an advertisement of that symbol, and you can see it on your smartphone. So this is done with Autonomy. So Autonomy makes sense of the physical world and connects it with the digital world. And it requires a lot of computing power behind to be able to do these calculations. So in fact, it is the largest private cloud for the computing power. Snapfish is a HP service for photographs, a little bit like Flickr. So we provide services to over 90 million Snapfish users using our technology and cloud technology. We also have a Cloud Agile program. So we have partnered with the leading CSPs and co-location vendors. So for example, Savis is our partner. So what we do is they host our cloud system in their data center, and they sell burst capacity, which is cloud bursting. So they can sell a disaster as a service, disaster recovery as a service, or backup as a service, or the complete stack of services. And the Cloud Agile program for the service providers allows that they don't have to invest in all the assets. They can use this ecosystem that they can burst to other service providers and work together. And this can be done through HP. So why is HP uniquely positioned? We have best-in-class technology based on HP Converged infrastructure. This is copied by our competitors. You can see that other people also are talking about converged infrastructure, but we invented it. Converged management and security and converged information. These are not just buzzwords, but we have technology to build these promises. Hybrid delivery, so we can span the traditional IT, private managed and public cloud. So we provide hybrid cloud delivery. So source the service from any IT delivery model, and we support it. We have an open extensible architecture, so we are partner of the OpenStack community, which is a standards body which is standardizing the APIs for clouds. You may have seen that there are a lot of cloud brokers nowadays that sell you a service working with app provider and the service providers to source the service. I even give you an SLA for it. The open standards are needed for that to happen, so that these services can be bought from many vendors. And we are working in the leading open standard, OpenStack for the architecture. We also have designed a very clean architecture for cloud, so it's readily available. It's not that we have to reinvent it every time we build a cloud. And we have experience, so from thousands of the customer engagements, we've got the people and the skills and the technology to build a cloud. I don't know how many people know this, but those who know ETL, we wrote the ETL's service operation book. And we've deployed over 600 cloud systems. We've designed 50 million square feet of data center space. We bought a company called EYP, which is a big data center consulting firm. We can provide highest mission critical customer loyalty, so we have clouds that can provide mission critical SLAs. If you're a financial service institution, this can be appealing to you, or if you provide services for the teleoperators or anyone really who has a mission critical application need. We can build your cloud in 30 days, including our cloud start services and cloud system services. HP Education Service is a leader in educating the workforce, so we can do the knowledge transfer from our consultants to your people, so you know how to operate and run it, add new services later on. And according to Forrester, we and TBR, they both say the same. We are leader in IT consolidation consulting services with Accenture. So we know how to do this, and this is our bread and butter, and we have solutions to help you on the journey. So, does anyone have any questions at this point? Maybe in terms of how do you get started, or what can you do next? Is anyone interested in building a cloud in the near future or far away future? One hand. Oh. Okay. I think we're done with time, so I thank you for listening and your participation, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me after the session, or grab me if you see me here. And please visit our booth and meet Timo Tähtinen, and also listen to my colleague Ari Saareks to give his speech. Thanks. Enjoy the event.